Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Let's Have a Pint. Today we have The Stranger from Clown Shoes. It is an American style Hefeweizen, 7.7% alcohol by volume, which is the largest Hefeweizen I have ever had. 40 IBUs. It gets an average rating of 3.54. Interestingly enough, this is their most rated beer that I have had. The other one I've had, Moon Bear, has only had about 4,000 ratings. This one's had 7,000. I was looking it up, and their top one is, I think, Baked Goods. Oh, Space Cake, which has been rated 86,000 times. They've been rated more than 1.32 million times. And the most well-known beer of theirs that I've had has been rated 7,000 times. It's like technically 7,244, but anyways. I bought a 4-pack of this, and I have had one. And it's different than what I would have expected. I absolutely love this can. Like, I appreciate when a brewery doesn't put much into the can, like it just says their name and the beer and that's it. Like locally Zipline does that. It's exactly the same for every one of their beers, besides that it it says something different for what each style is. But I picked this up for cheap. I can't remember what they had it sitting there for. I mean, it was canned back on 5/7. So May 7th, this was canned. So it's been June, July, August. It's been about 3 months. So that's not bad. But it means that I want to get this rated fairly quickly. I have another couple in there that I got to rate fairly quickly. I don't mind drinking them. You know, like something like a Hefeweizen or an IPA or anything lighter. I don't really mind rating them, or not rating, sorry. I don't really mind drinking them when it's, been 4, 5, 6 months. But I don't want to wait that long to rate them. I want to rate them, do an episode on here as soon as I can. And this one did not actually have much of a head. It's pretty hazy, hard to see through. And just had not much of a head. Fairly larger bubbles for the most part. I don't think it's going to coat the glass. I don't remember if it did last time I had it the other day. I had it while I was editing a video. Oh, look at that head. So, we're up to 2 fingers of head. I mean, it smells fantastic. It smells like a wheat beer. It smells like what you would expect from the style. The only thing is, it smells like it's got a few more spices, not like winter spice, the kind of spices you would expect to find in a Belgian wit. It's got a few more of those than what you would typically expect for a Hefeweizen or an American wheat, which are, to me, an American wheat, a German Hefeweizen, Belgian wit are pretty much the same. They're all wheat beers, but they're subtly different. The differences to me, an American wheat can have more complexity than a Hefeweizen, although Hefeweizen's German Hefs can certainly have some complexity to them. But in general, I feel like they do, because they're not as limited in what they can use to brew the beer. Belgian wits are my favorite because they always have more spices to them. And that is my absolute favorite for a wheat beer. And this has what those Belgian wits have. Still kicking up a good amount of head here. It's fairly light-bodied, like you would expect. Actually, it's very dangerous. It's basically 8% alcohol, and it drinks like it's about 5, which 3% doesn't sound like a big difference. There's a huge difference between a 5% beer and an 8% beer. Not necessarily as much between like a 3% beer or 5%. There's a much bigger difference, I feel like, between 5 and 8. I feel like that's a bigger difference. Even like 8 to 10 isn't that big of a difference. And I get those spices out of it too, in the taste, but it definitely has what you would expect from a Hefeweizen. But the spices not only complement, but they accentuate the what you would typically get out of a wheat beer. And I believe the spice is on the back end. Throughout. The spices are throughout the beer. I mean, I feel like this is the best Hefeweizen I have ever had. It stands up to a lot of Belgian whippers. What the hell is my favorite? I loved Sam Adams White Ale when they used to do that as the spring seasonal. When they brought it back since then, you know, mostly like in the winter pack, I haven't liked it as much. Garden I love, but there's another one that I really like a lot. Hi, buddy boy. And I can't remember what it is, but this is right up there. This is absolutely a fantastic beer. And I mean, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that date on there because of all the glare. You might be able to see it right there. I can't tell. But if you see that, you know, if you see this and it's 3 months old, don't be afraid to pick it up. I have no idea why it was on sale, but it was, and it is worth it. I've bought a couple others that were on, well, not sale, but on a clearance price. So I think this is $10.99 for the 4-pack. I picked it up for $7. I picked up a stout for $7 for the 4-pack, and it was usually a $9.99 or $10.99 4-pack. And then the last time I went to pick up some beer, I picked up 3 4-packs of Surly that were on clearance, but I made sure on the date. Like, there was a 4-pack of the Hell Lager that was from February. I didn't touch that. I did buy 2 of them were from April and 1 of them was from May, so those will be going up on the channel here very quick too. They might even be tonight. But this is absolutely fantastic. You know, American wheats and German Hefeweizens, I've never really gone out of my way for. There's some really good ones for the styles. Belgian wits, I will go out of my way for any day of the week. If it's brewed well, I love it. And it's the spicy notes, the spicy characteristics that are balanced into the beer that I love. And like I said with this one, it's not just balanced into it. Those spicy notes accentuate the other characteristics of the Hefeweizen. But yeah, the spices are all the way throughout, and I can't pick out individual spices from this, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Oh, I never realized that etching was in there. It's backwards from there, but if I look at it right here, spegula, you will not be able to see it, but if you look right here, if you look down right in this little area, which you won't be able to see it, so I'm not even going to try, but for me, I can see it says the name of the company that made the glass, which I think is neat. I never noticed that. I've had this for 3-4 months. This is my favorite wheat glass. I have a few others. I have a white ale glass. It's actually the same item as white ale glass, which I think I've shown it on camera. I don't think I've used it, but this is the only actual wheat beer glass I have. Other than, I do have the Goose Island one, but I don't really like that one because it's basically just a taller pint. Head's completely gone now. I cannot stir one up. But the only thing I feel like is off about this beer is for 7.7% alcohol. You know, you're 0.3% away from 8%. By the way, you like that? Hear one of my children shitting? It might not be. Hold on. It might be my son trying to pull up shit. Yeah, I'm not sure if he was trying to pull up shit or not. But I don't want to risk it. So I do make sure. He bolted real quick. It's time to play. But yeah, I can't say enough good things about this beer. This is on level with Belgian Wits for me. And I've never said that about my favorite wheats, my favorite American wheats, my favorite German Hefeweizens. But this American Hefeweizen is right up there with Belgian Wits. Like I said, I can't say enough fantastic things about it. But we haven't really talked about movies yet. I'm not going to go too much into it. We can do that at a later date. But I love pretty much anything sci-fi as long as it's good. Sci-fi horror is really good. I love the Alien series, which is what this is. And I am so sad that we just learned that Alien Covenant might actually be the last Alien film, even though there's supposed to be another one after it. With Disney picking up 20th Century, they might not do another one. And I think we heard that, you know, it wasn't just a question of whether they do it. They have... It's an even worse shape than that now. But I also like Prometheus. I don't even have to look it up. A film called Prometheus with Dennis Quaid from '09. I love that film. That film was actually an inspiration for me to do my Argos novel series. Vaguely similar, but it's not gonna, it's not gonna necessarily be horror in any sort of way. What else? I love Harry Potter. Books are vastly better, but I love Harry Potter. I love Lord of the Rings. I like they did World of Warcraft a few years ago, but I liked it, but I didn't. It wasn't a bad film, but it felt like it was like 8 films in one, and that didn't sit well with me. And it did end on a cliffhanger, and I don't think there's going to be a second one, which I'm not surprised about. I think it was World of Warcraft. What else do I love? I love a lot. I don't really watch movies anymore, but I used to watch a shit ton of films. Oh, and the Jurassic Park series, as you've known already. Let's see here. I like Star Wars, but I haven't seen any of the new ones. I wanted to see the new one in 2015 when that one came out, but it was just killed for me with all the hype. I was just like, nope. Too tired of this. Love the Star Trek films. I think the trilogy is all we're going to get, unfortunately. The new Spider-Man movie I liked a lot. I'm not much for horror, but I loved that. I like Rob Zombie's films for the most part. Watchmen. Sucker Punch wasn't bad. Shining's good. Oh, fuck. There's Deadpool. There's Die Hard. Bourne. Shit, I don't know. There's a bunch here. Anything Moby Dick. Fast and Furious. I do love... Oh, Kingsman. I gotta get the second one. I haven't even seen it. Matrix was amazing. Like I said, anything science fiction, I love this thing. This thing, when I bought it, it retailed for like $150. I got it for $70. Now it retails for like $80 or $90. I love the pirate films. Not necessarily for story, just it's the Caribbean, it's beautiful. And I'm not going to say, like, it's got a bad story. It doesn't. I do genuinely enjoy the story, but my favorite part of it is the setting. But anything sci-fi, like, there's just nothing comes out sci-fi anymore. Mostly it's TV series. Like, I love Stargate. I love Star Trek. I love The Expanse, which I'm glad Amazon saved it. I'm pissed, though, that another show that Sci-Fi canceled, I don't even remember the name of it, was picked up by Netflix. But the biggest show that Sci-Fi's done in 8 years, they wouldn't pick up. But at least Amazon picked it up. Never watched anything from Amazon, so I don't know what their quality is. But I feel like the show would have done really well on Netflix. And it's weird because Netflix owned all the rest of the rights to the show besides first airs. Buddy boy, what you doing? Artemis. Down. Down. If you don't get down right now, I'm going to smack you. But, recently, I don't even know what the hell I've seen. I think I saw 3 or 4 movies this year. We're 8 months in. I haven't even seen the second Deadpool. I need to see that. But, I don't know. I'm not much for movie watching. I did watch 50 First Dates again the other night. Last night. It's not bad. It's not a good movie, but it's got a few quirks to it. But anyway, what am I going to rate this? I actually might rate this 4.5. Yeah, I think I'm going to do 4.5. Do another whole star on top of that 3.5. I love this because it's got those spicy notes. Most wheats to me are just entry level. This is not entry level beer. It's not far beyond that, but it's not exactly entry level either. So I think I'll do 4.5 stars. When I pick this up again, there is no doubt. Look at this. It is a can, and it is a pint. The best beers come canned and in pints. I mean, if you don't do canned pints, as a brewer, what are you doing with your life? It's not that serious. But no, this is what I love this kind. A pint. A pint, and it's a can. Although I don't know if I've ever seen a pint in bottle. I don't know if I have. I know I've seen like 11 point whatever ounces. And I've seen 24 ounce bottles, but that's about it. Cans are better. There are like 4 or 5 beers from Clown Shoes, which are actually much more rated than this one is. Many more times overrated. That's still coming out wrong. That have been rated many more times than this guy has, like 10 times more. That I really want to try. But they're bombers. And I still think I'm going to buy them here in a week or so. I still think I'm going to buy them. Maybe it's 3 weeks out, I don't know. But I think I'm going to do it. Eventually I will have their IPAs, because I've had this, and I've had Moon Bear from them, and I mentioned it in the description of Moon Bear. Since it's a milk stout, I feel like what it needs is the coffee backed off a little bit. It needs lactose added for sweetness, or at least more. I don't know. It probably has lactose, being a milk stout. And then I can't get over this in beer and how well it works done right. Marshmallow, that kind of beer. This kind of beer, marshmallow would be fucking weird. But I would like to. I would be interested in that beer with marshmallow added for softness. A milk stout with a hint of coffee, a lot of lactose to keep it sweet, and marshmallow added for a little softness to a higher alcohol by volume stout. For a sweeter stout. I feel like for a sweeter stout, you want that softness that marshmallow would bring. Because I haven't uploaded it yet, and I haven't even edited it yet, but I want to edit it so bad because I loved Bozo beer from Evil Twin Brewing. That was one of the best beers I've ever had. I don't have like a list, of like, oh, well, this is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's definitely a top 10 beer. Might be a top 5 beer I've ever had. And a big thing with that one was it introduced me to marshmallow in beer. And I appreciate that. And it added a softness to such a large beer. But I'm not saying that Clown Shoes has to change their Moon Bear at all. They don't. It's a good beer. I enjoy it. But for being a milk stout, that throws you off from what you'd expect. Because it's a very bitter beer from the coffee flavoring. Anyways, I've already said I'm going to rate it 4.5. I would no doubt buy another 4-pack, and I think it's a $10.99 4-pack. And usually for lighter beers like this, I hate spending that kind of money, especially since it's a 4-pack. But it's a 4-pack pints, so you're basically getting 5 beers out of it. Oh, by the way, I haven't done it yet, but I bought Ska Brewing's Oktoberfest. I gotta message them because I don't know if they will or not. One of the cans has a puncture in it, and I don't know where the leak is because it's so small that it won't spray out even. But it sits somewhere and then it's sticky underneath. And, you know, the can doesn't feel right. It's not solid like this. It's just weak. So I don't know. I wanted to email him and see if I could get a free can. I don't want another 6-pack necessarily or anything else, because hi, buddy. Because I would feel terrible to get free things, but at the same time, I bought a 6-pack and I got a 5-pack basically of Ska Oktoberfest. No idea if you can see it. I think you can. That's what I was seeing when I was sitting here looking at it like that. I guess it is easier to see than I thought. But anyways, this video's gone on long enough. This is actually much longer than I want videos to be. I want to try and stay around 20 minutes. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Until next time, Prost.